Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so this is an energy update, and it's also, I would like to share with you how to manage going through this crazy time we're having in this world right now as highly sensitive. So I want to share with you how to manage your mind and manage your energy so that you're not anxious all the time, so you're not feeling overwhelmed, so you're not in fear, so that and I'm saying all the time because different things are going to come up and you need to experience those, but there's a way that we can manage this. So if you are feeling any of those feelings and feeling like you just want to stay inside, you want to shut down, I was just thinking before I made this, it was like when I was saying, oh, these crazy times, part of me wants to laugh at the sense of absurdity about how much and how many things are happening, and cry at the same time, just be hysterical. In fact, it makes me cry now. And I want to share with you, as sensitives and as empaths, how and why we did the different ways that we are affected by this. And I'll share my experience, and you can see if you can relate or if there's any things that are in that. So I would say to you, if you usually just pop in and then pop out, oh my gosh, that is like the third time today that the hawk has just been right near. So I know I'm on the right track saying this and coming up with this. So I would ask you to stay all the way through, and because there's going to be deep learning in this for you, or tools in this for you, as well as whatever is coming through me that's going to help activate you and in a positive, grounding way that's going to help you feel more safe in this world. So instead of just, a couple minutes with me, stick with me through the whole thing and see if that makes a difference. Because one of the issues, or one of the tools, is about slowing down. As we slow down, our frequencies are going to rise. We're going to realize different things. As we slow down, we're going to be able to manage our minds and our energy in different ways than if we're just on that hamster wheel, going, or just, a little here, a little there. Really, we are in this most amazing time in this world, on this planet, in the cosmos, as human beings. It is a time of immense growth, immense breaking down of old systems. The sun is at its peak, is peaking into its activity, which is sending us information and plasma, and which is all information that we're taking in. There's a lot of cosmic things going on, astrological. There is stuff all over the place coming in besides what is physically happening here on the planet, that has to do with the storms and everything that are happening, politically what's happening, a lot. And that's overwhelming. That's overwhelming to us. So, energetically, there is a tremendous amount of energy that's happening. And so for you to, again, take care of yourself, slow down, really get as much off your calendar, to stop distracting you, to turn a little bit more inward, to calm yourself down, to eat well, to ground, to do your energy work, to do the energy work that will get you out of that fight or flight. Because as long as you stay in the fight or flight and you don't feel safe, you're not going to think consciously. You're going to be in survival mode. And we want you thinking and being more present in the moment so you can make better choices. And if you can make better choices, then you can keep yourself out of that fight or flight. You can keep yourself out of feeling the anxiety, out of getting into fear. And so one of the ways that we get into all of those feelings is that as highly sensitives, we are incredibly creative. I would say the majority, I don't know a sensitive who isn't incredibly creative. And one of the things that I'll say to them is, okay, can you, like in 30 seconds or less, go from, take an idea in your head, like somebody, the way somebody looks, and then you looks at you, and then let's say they looked at you and you thought something negative. And so then you take that feeling and you create a story, a little movie in your head about what that means. They don't like what you're wearing. They didn't like how you looked at them. They didn't, whatever the story is, and it gets complicated. And it goes all the way to where all of a sudden, it affects your whole life and nobody wants to be around you. And you're alone. You've been abandoned. Or you're dead, whatever it is. It's like zip, like that passed. We can do this, and we can do it in the positive direction also. We can have the most, we can make up stories about somebody who doesn't like us and that they love and adore us and blah, 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 and it goes in the other direction. So when you slow down, and right now, it's the universe, the quantum field, the where all the intelligence is asking you to slow down. And actually, if you don't slow down, it's putting you in pain. It's creating heart stuff or other medical. It doesn't have to be medical. It's just other issues that it's like you stub your foot and you break a toe, so you can't walk as fast anymore, or you end up detoxing or something. You're doing something that the world is making you slow down. It might have you lose your job so that you'll slow down. It can have a relationship breakup so you can slow down. There's all sorts of different things that can happen in order to have you slow down. And so I don't want any of the Mack trucks to come hit. Let's be conscious. Let's be conscious about slowing ourselves down without having the universe to make us do that in order to learn our lesson. So, and when you slow down again, you start to become conscious of the things you're choosing, what you're thinking, the stories you're making up I just talked about, and then you can have more of what are my choices. And so in this slowing down, so first of all, let's talk about being an empath. So all my life I've felt other people. And I can get into their bodies and feel how their neck is twisted, and how their posture is. If I was going to do a psychic reading of them, I can physically feel their postures and stuff. And I've learned to not do that because it was way too much on me. But I do feel a lot of the collective because I am helping to process the collective energy. And so when big things are happening in the world like they are, I'm feeling them a lot. And I might not know what they are, but I'll start to see things on Instagram or the internet, or if my partner has the news on a little bit, I on his computer, I can see a little bit. If I feel like I need to know what's going on, then I'll look. But even when I go on like Instagram and I start scrolling to, I don't know, scrolling to look for something, and then I'll start to see what's happening, and I'll start cheering on what happens, that I get hooked into, like, I just love how community is coming together, and how, because and how the people rise up. I love hearing those stories. I love hearing how people are taking care of each other, how but it's so sad that it has to happen through a disaster, that we can't do this without a disaster. And I'm hoping that this will initiate more of us coming together without the disasters, and helping each other, and you know, getting things done, and taking care of each other, and realizing that, you know, what we do for ourselves, we do for others. What we do for others, we do for ourselves. That we're all connected. And so I start cheering on that, but then the other side starts coming in, that is negative, that I'm seeing, where they're not getting support that I think they should be getting support, and then just also hearing about different things that have happened, which I am very visual, and so I have to stay away from that, or otherwise I have the visuals when I lay down to go to bed. Before, when we had mudslides here in Santa Barbara, and people, you know, I read about the people who died in the mudslide, and it took a lot to get that out of my mind. Like, I never should watch Jaws, that, you know, that affects me. I just have a very creative and active imagination. And so that's what I'm telling you too, to watch your storytelling. So I have to get out of that, and I have to keep that very minimal in my life. Otherwise, it starts to get me angry, or upset, or I start to create a story about how somebody died, or how a lot of people died. And I want to share that, you know, and I'm affected by a lot of these things, and then I usually have to call my friends and talk to them and say, oh my God, how do we do this without getting, you know, so wrapped up in it all, right? And because we are human, but we're also, you know, we are the 3D and we are the 5D, or you are moving into the 4D and 5D, and you're depending on where you're at. And I, you know, go back and forth, and it's I want to remind you that what you put your attention on, you create. And so one of the things about all of this is yes, I feel strongly I feel moved, and I by all the things that are happening, and part of me is you know, at moment feeling devastated for them, and feeling heartache and heartbroken, and you know, grief and pain, and, you know, disbelief, and then so what I want to share is a way for you to manage your energy in this, is to feel what you're feeling, acknowledge what you're feeling, but also remember, and I have to remind myself, okay, and because once I get in, there's like a brief period where I'm really just present with whatever it is that I just heard, experienced, or saw from somebody's live video. And then I don't want to go into the story. I don't want to go into making up a story about it and creating more out of it. And so I'll feel what I'm feeling. And then I will say a prayer for all those people, or for that person, or for whatever it is that it's occurred. And like the hurricane, I think it's Milton, or whatever the name of the hurricane that's heading towards Florida. Again, whatever we put our attention on grows. So instead of going, oh my God, the hurricane is going to devastate, what we can all do is think of the hurricane breaking apart. Think of the hurricane calming down, thinking of all the people that are in the way of the hurricane, that they're out, that they get out safely, that all the angels and people will help everybody. Everybody will be taken care of. And supported in the right ways, and that this hurricane, because we are powerful and we forget that, as powerful as our mind is in creating these stories and emotions in us, we also have superpowers that we can affect the world. And so if all of us, instead of thinking, oh my gosh, there's this tremendous hurricane that's happening, let's think about the hurricane slowing down, breaking up, acclimating to the energies around it, calming down, slowing down the winds, to everybody, people will be safe that want to be safe. There might be people that want this to be an experience for them. So I'm not into wanting to control it for anybody, but however anybody wants to experience this hurricane, they can experience it. But also we can start to positively affect the areas and the people that are involved. So like the hurricane and the rains in Tennessee and North Carolina, etc. So I get have all these various feelings about it, and then I said, okay, so I feel those feelings. I feel compassion and grief and love and anger and joy in the people and how they rise up, and resilience and stuff, and humanity. It's beautiful. And then after I allow myself to have that initial human, because I'm human besides being a beautiful soul, and so I then am thinking about, yes, everyone will be supported, everyone will get what they need. This will all work out for the highest good of all concerned. I say these prayers that I just saw. Sorry, just thinking of this one man that I saw, and he said I was sitting around and I was so depressed, and he had a tree down and couldn't get out and all that, and he said, and then there are all these young guys coming in their green khakis and it was the best thing I ever saw, and they made me feel young again. They made me feel alive again. It was it's those things, but it's also, it's us coming together. It's us uniting now and starting to think of uniting instead of dividing. And we don't have to have these huge, horrible storms to come about in order for us to rise up and be better people and take care of each other without having to have a disaster, in our neighborhoods and our communities, and that we can take care of each other. So the other thing that is, so managing our minds, not getting caught up in the storytelling, realizing that what we do here, even though I'm not in North Carolina, I'm in California, that what I do here matters for them. So there's different ways. I gave some money to help support these people that I saw going in first time, and sent money to them to keep up their great efforts. There's incredible artists, and there's all different ways. But if we're in fight or flight and stressed out by it all and create in our old stories, and we're on that hamster wheel, we can't come up with solutions. We can't come up thinking bigger than just the problem, right? Isn't Einstein who said you can't solve a problem from the same place that created the problem. And so we have to rise above. We have to rise above. It's not saying, again, to not feel your feelings, and then making a new choice about, just even if you ask the question, how can I help? Or what's a solution to this? What's the highest and best good for all at this time? I've done that many times. A little car accident, what's the highest good and best good for all of us? And everything always works out. It always works out. But we have to slow down and be conscious. And then also, when you slow down, you can start to hear your intuition. You can start to hear your guidance. Your guidance and your higher self will remind you, get off of Instagram, or stop watching the news, or something comes in that excites you, that this is a way that I can support. And so your awareness becomes much bigger and broader, and more fitting. You can listen to your soul. How is your soul calling you? What's it inspiring you to do at this time? And then managing your energy, right? Managing your energy is feeling the feelings, and not suppressing them and not pushing them away, because what you resist persists. So that becomes something big, and you're saying no, no, no. Instead, it can move through a lot more quickly. And managing your energy means self-care too. That's all your self-care. And if you can spend shorter amounts of time in the overwhelm or overstimulation or in anxiety and fear, and come back and start to use that incredible imagination and energy to visualize something else, and visualize what is the highest and best good. Visualize the storm subsiding. Visualize support, love, unconditional love, the energies coming in. Visualize, how can I help? How can somebody else? What's needed? What support? And it might be that it also triggers for you, well, if that can happen there, it can happen here. So what can I set up so that there's something here that's available, that in case that ever does happen, that we have support. Start thinking bigger. How can we help each other in this world? It's like, a lot of times we're living in this very unconscious world, going fast, trying to survive and stay afloat ourselves, and other people's problems don't matter because they're not happening to us. And the world is changing, and we are getting all this energy from the solar, from the sun. And why is that important? So number one, we're changing physically, we're changing mentally. It affects us in such a variety of ways. But the electromagnetic field around our Earth is very thin. So there's a lot of, again, intelligence that's coming in, new things that are coming in that need the body to integrate. That information. Otherwise, it can be very irritating, it can feel overwhelming, make you sick, a variety of different things that just, if you would take the time, simplify your life. That's kind of been a theme all along in these energy updates, is to simplify. Then you will not be as stressed out, and you will have other information within you. You will have internal information that you can start to trust and that will guide you. You can start to trust that information guiding you. But if you don't listen inside, then you're not going to trust that down the road here. And you're going to look externally and it won't feel as safe for you to be making those decisions. So I just want to remind you that you are a powerful being. You are a beautiful diamond that is being uncovered through your daily inner work, your self-work. And if you're just waking up, then you're just starting this journey. For those of you, and some of this, will, then I think you need to go look at my other videos about awakening and ascension, and those of you who are in the middle of this, that we're fine-tuning right now. We're doing all this work. This is what we came here for. And we're becoming leaders. You're becoming leaders in the community. You are the pioneers in this, because the majority of the population is being waken up by all these storms. Is being waken up by having different events happen in their life that and having the circumstances be different than what they thought they would be. And so it's getting them to question, what the hell is going on? Why am I not being supported by the people I thought I should be supported by? And look at all these other people who I was like thinking weren't good people, that are out here taking care of me, caring for me, that are risking their lives and using their time, and they really have big hearts. And I was told that they were different than I. That's just one scenario that can be. And so it's finding that balance between seeing what's going on and not being overwhelmed by what's going on. Again, I'm laughing because I don't want to, the part I can laugh and I can cry about this, right? Because it's just like so freaking absurd. All the stuff that is like happening, and majority of the population is not questioning it. That to me is like freaking amazing. I'm sorry. And that to me is the scary part sometimes for me, is realizing that so many people are so unconscious about what's happening until they get knocked down, and then they have to wake up, or they'll drown, right? Or something will happen to them that doesn't need to happen, but it's happening for our growth. So it's a huge growth period. And so bottom line, take care of yourself. If you need help doing the inner work, reach out to me. We can do a one-on-one, and or reach out to other coaches that are doing this work. It doesn't matter, but the work does matter. This is growth time. This is the if you're in this process, you're not going to stop. It is like I grow every single day. I wake up a new person every single day, and it is propelling and going faster and faster. And that's why for you to slow down, it feels like things are everything. So you are going to learn who you are. You're going to learn where your limitations are that are in your mind, and then you're going to learn the gifts and the powers that you have within you that are limited because of those limiting beliefs and perceptions that you have about yourself that are being worked. So you're again like a diamond, and you've got all this mud and crud that's been there for how many years, and it might be lifetimes, different lifetimes, past life, and your journey in this life is to get that crud off, is to be taking it off and getting it off, so then, and different aspects of that diamond start shining, and your talents, your gifts, while you're here, the things that you've done in past lives become into your knowledge, come into your life, and so you can start living from that aspect and helping to create this new world, right? So we can see as human beings what's going on, and then our higher self can look and see at that bigger picture, and this is what we're holding. We're helping to hold the container for the higher energy, for the highest good of all, for the highest good of all concerned. And that's not just this planet. Okay, I hope that helped. I love you. Until we meet again, love, live, and matter. And hang in there. We're all doing this, and if you need help, call. Just, reach out to me. And you are not alone, and there are others. They might not be speaking out about it, but I know there are others around you. There's a lot more of us. I'm seeing that. And that you will find. So set the intention. I will find others in my neighborhood, in my community, that are like mine, that are growing, that are learning, that are sensitives, that are creating, and so that I can have others to do this with in my community. Take care. I love you. Bye.